What's the use in sharing this one and only life? Just to end up lost and lonely, just another wife. So you will count the years, and they will be filled with tears. Ooh, young hearts, run free. That is one of my favorite songs. I love the engineering of everything, not just practically but spiritually too, which is why I love and am so infatuated with alignment, understanding alignment more and more, especially with being like a multidimensional being. How the hell do you talk some real shit? You you know that song, it tickles me how that song makes you want to celebrate your freedom based off of somebody else's tragedy, experience of tragedy. Or, it frees you in a way to where, well, for one, you're not the only one who feels or who thinks that way. Then it's like another perspective of feeling free and liberated. You can dance off of that song. Like the instruments, it's like she's telling a sad story, but the instruments, the music makes you want to dance to it like you're freeing it. I forgot the name of that artist. I forgot her name. But after I heard that song, I started listening to some of her other music. I was just like, damn, sister girl, she know how to, because she got a couple of songs and she had integrity. She had a lot of integrity within her music. Let me see if I can find it here. But anyway, that song came straight to me as soon as I cut on the camera. So, oh shit. I want to talk about the past. I have a feeling that there are going to be individuals to where you're going to be experiencing people from a very distant past. You have overcome with people that you knew growing up, people that you went to school with, your family, close family, all that type of stuff. You've overcome opposition in those areas with your relationships. But in between your life, you have had individuals that you have had experiences with, like quick encounters, or encounters that were very Candy Staten. Okay, Candy. So that's her name, Young Hearts. So it could be like flings, one night stands, people you may have worked with. So let me tell you what triggered this alignment, right? Well, not this alignment. I don't know why I said that, but this enlightenment. So, my son's father has just been saying like weird shit. He's really operating from a very subconscious place. You know, um, he's being that kid that needs a lot of attention. Okay. So, I mean, he's being nice about it. He's being comical. He's being lighthearted. As much as I want to say, get your grown ass out my face. Go find, go find something to do. Ain't you supposed to be working? As much as I want to say those things and just kind of like shoo him away, I just take a break from what I'm doing. It'd be annoying because it's like, it's when I'm listening to something or when I'm focused working on something. Like I'm just supposed to stop everything for him. I do that with my son. So, and my son is the only person that I do that for willingly. He was acting like it's like an insect, you know. so so anyway, um he's just been he been bringing up the past a lot lately. Now he's very nostalgic. He's always in the past, always talking about the past. You know what I'm saying? He still sees certain things. He still sees me in the same way, as the past. It'd be so annoying. It's just like how you got four eyes, and bro, you cannot see, you know. But that is a reflection of like the underdevelopment, that are in people. When you start growing, when you grow, you outgrow them. You know what I mean? You grow past them. So, because I can see that he's not the same. He's definitely him. He's still him, but he's not the same. Like his journey as a father, as a provider, as a co-parenter, participant in co-parenting. Yeah, I've seen a lot of changes in him. You know, He's still him. He's definitely still him, though. I know that sounds crazy and contradicting, but I mean, that's the truth. I don't know how else to explain it. So he said something to me today about a situation like years ago when I was working in the healthcare field. So I worked for this woman taking care of her two little sons. I think they were, I want to say, I think 7 and 9, and they were special needs. This was I worked for this woman, and I picked up on a lot of stuff. She was just, she was hood. She was taking advantage of the system. She was, hood. You could tell that she had her grandchildren because of the stability. You could just tell, like, she was getting over. She was one of those, you know. So, but they get money. You get money for your disabled children. You get a lot of money. But anyway, the boys, they slept in like these custom made cribs. You know, they were very active. Very very active. So she would buy them all this stuff that they couldn't use and that they didn't need. Like she bought them like these two little motor cars. The kids get in the motor cars, they ride the motor cars. She would buy them all these name brand shoes, clothes. She never took them out. You know what I'm saying? She was very lazy. And don't get me wrong, because she was an older woman, but I understand. I can imagine it's trying dealing with two younger, mentally challenged, disabled individuals. They had like a lot of energy. It was very hard to keep up with. So anyway, she had decided she was going to do a yard sale. So a lot of the shoes that they had, she was selling them. So my son needed some shoes, so I stole some shoes. So he gonna bring that shit up. So I was just like, wait, where the fuck did this shit come from? And that shit was years ago. That shit had to be in 2014. So we started talking about it. He was just like, you had no right taking that woman's shoes, taking them children's shoes. He's right about what he said, because back then I tried to justify myself for taking the shoes, and he brought that up, and he's just like, you cannot justify taking something that was not given to you and that's not yours. You had no reason, you had no right to do that. Now my thing is that I didn't get on his ass, because at this time, it's like, nigga, you won't do anything. You couldn't do anything. I'm out here working 2 jobs while you're trying to get your life together, staying with your grandma, drinking all goddamn day. So it's just like, I didn't go there. I didn't take it there. So I told him, I sat and I reflected on it. And I was just like, during that time, yeah, I had an excuse. But at the same time, I was somewhat disturbed by this lady and her behavior towards having those children. That's all. I guess it was the hidden animosity, because it's kind of like you don't even care about these kids. Everything that you do, it's just like you have a great life. You don't have to work. Having these children pay your bills. You got all this stuff up in here that has not been used. You don't even take the time out to work with the children, to help them to play with the stuff. You get very impatient, very irritated. Like I was upset, because I'm just like, you took your daughter's children away because you wanted them financially. You wanted that financial support. And you knew that you could do that with children, because all her children are grown. You could just tell, like, she lazy and scamish. She was getting over on the system. I'm just like, damn, how the fuck are you getting food stamps? She's getting like $3,000 in food stamps, and she would buy all these snacks, and that's what she would feed them. Like, the kids, they didn't even want to eat like cooked homemade food. Then she had a boyfriend, and I have a feeling her boyfriend may have messed with a couple of nurses that came in and out of there. She was always talking about my man, my man. She was talking about a damn man. She would tell me stories about growing up on the Eastern Shore, how she was fucking on a city bus. I was younger back then. So I was more so very judgmental. I wouldn't have, I wasn't able to just listen to her and just, just listen and observe. I was very judgmental. So, I didn't like, then on top of that, she was a Cancer. I'm just like, you rule the mother, you piece of slop. I was just so disturbed. I was so disturbed, and I feel bad for those little boys because I'm just like, you know, I don't know. I just felt I was disturbed. I'm just like, you do not care about these children. And then she used to have um, a little grandniece that used to come over there, and baby girl was fast. That little girl was 9 years old, and she's sitting up there on the phone making videos of her twerking. I was just like, look at you, look like you still got on a diaper. She showed me that shit. She was bold enough to show me like this is some shit that is cute. She felt real comfortable, with showing me. I'm just like, you usually try to hide this shit from grown people. I asked her, I said, do your mama know that you made that video? And she gonna smile at me talking about, no. I was like, now what if I told her? Because you're not supposed to be doing that. I was like, it's men out here that could be watching you, and you need to be careful. I told on her ass. I told on her ass. I ain't see her for a couple of days, 4 days. Then when she came back, I guess she had a bit of an attitude. I said, So anyway, I was just disturbed about all the things in which that I was saying. It just seemed like people was using her, was using the mother, and the mother was using the children. And it's just like she was, I don't know. I was just very judgmental, very disturbed, very upset. So when I decided to steal them shoes, I did not have two shits to give. I did not have two fucks to give. So then the next week she contacts me and she confronts me and she's just like, I'm gonna need them shoes back because I know you took them shoes. I was just like, well, how you know I took the shoes? So she was just like, she said your baby daddy pulled up here and you ran out here and your bag, your purse was bulky. It wasn't bulky when you came in to work, and then when you came back from the car. She said, well, I'm gonna need the money for them shoes, or she says, I'm gonna need them shoes back. So I told her ass, I don't know what you're talking about. The girl that was assisting me that I was working with, she knew I took the shoes. So she knew I was lying to that woman. I didn't care. I didn't care. It was another girl I was working with. She was a young girl. So she had been there before me. She was like 18 years old. She was 17 and her boyfriend was 16 and he was down low, honey. He was down low, you know. But I loved that girl. Her name was Brittany. I loved her. She was the best. I wish I would have stayed in contact with her, and I wish that I would have been more of a friend to her too, because she was somebody I could really trust. I feel like she judged me in her mind, but I really didn't care about that because she always treated me like a friend. She would confide in me. She would talk to me, and I liked her. I appreciated her. So, but anyway, the woman ended up calling my job and telling them that I stole the shoes. So, of course, when it came to my job, I was just like, I don't know what she's talking about, you know. So they ended up putting me somewhere else. I was just like, wow, he would bring that up. I do, I used to have a bad habit of sticky fingers. Okay. And I used to be a really big liar. Okay. God, I've gotten my shit together though. So, I mean, what's up? What's up with you? Shit. I've gotten my shit together, you know? And now I fight hard to help wake people up. Well, I used to. I feel like with me just being me, it just naturally comes. That's why motherfuckers be triggered, you know? A lot of people don't know me, so but they assume that they know me because they be judging me. So, people think I don't come. They think I don't come from hard times, from a hard place, from that darkness. They think I don't come from that. They think that life has just been easy. They think I'm lazy. They think shit just be being handed to me and all that type of stuff. Like, for one, no. You know, when I gave my life to my spirit guides and God, my life changed. I had to change. I was very underdeveloped, like most of the people that always be trying to come for me. I was just like that. It's funny, they be making the same moves I made. They be doing the same shit I done did. It's like the intentions of it is all the same. It doesn't matter what method you use. The method may be different, but the cash still smells the same. You understand what I'm saying? So that it just be annoying. So he had brought that up. I was just like, wow. That was so long ago. And when I think about it now, I told him, I was like, I wasn't justified for doing that shit, but I mean, it is what it is. Like, even to this day, I don't feel bad. Those children, they ain't missing nothing. They ain't hurting for nothing. I'm pretty sure they would appreciate their mom, their grandma, actually taking them out to connect and play with them and spend time with them and try to figure out how to get them in school or something. I don't know. But, you know, the logic of it is that it was not mine to take, regardless of my reasoning. And that's what made it unfair. That's what made the situation unfair. It wasn't mine to take. So I said, wow. So I just kind of plunged off, with this trigger. I just plunged off into seeing like different people running into people that they haven't seen in a long time, and most of the people are people that they don't want to see, you know because the thing is that you've moved on with your life, but you have to remember that who you are someone who you are someone who does, and you are someone who always has had some type of impact or effect on people that you meet. You are unforgettable. It doesn't matter how long or how short of a time individuals experience you. You are someone that most people will never forget. So rather they like you or rather they don't, because I pick up, it's people. It's like as soon as you connect with them, that they're not fucking with you. And you have this epiphany, like, you know what, maybe they never did fuck with me, but it was so long ago. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like you're measuring your evolution with how well you can see through other people from your past, because a lot of these people are still going to be in the same position, and they're still going to be in the same place, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. you know I ran into a friend of mine months ago, somebody that I knew from middle school. I love this dude. He was so funny. He was so happy. Oh my God, when I saw him again, it's been years. I'm 36 at this time. 36 at this time, and I haven't seen him since I was probably like 12 years old. He's still the same. He still got the same light. He still got the same heart, the same goofiness. You know what I'm saying? I get a little deep with him, so he opens up, and I begin to see the truth, of him. He's such a great guy. He's so nice. He wants everybody around him to win. He's telling me it seems like everybody around him is dying. Their dreams are dying. They're changing. They're turning into people that he doesn't even recognize. Everybody's mad and upset. There has been a lot that we have gone through as a whole, globally, nationally. Then on top of that, people are dealing with their own personal things. Then on top of that, we got a lot of stuff happening in the cosmic realm too. So, he's not understanding, and there's just this depression, because he tells me, because I went to the mall. That's why I saw him. He was getting off of work. He was just like, yeah, he was like, I'm getting my self-care. I went to Bath and Body Works and got me some smell goods. I was like, oh shit. He took the shit out of the bag and he was just like, smell that shit. I was like, okay. I was just like, wow, he's a proud man of his self-care and his self-love. But he looked It's like you can see what's going on with him on the inside through his body. There's something that's suffering on the inside. So, I had to shadow dive a little bit. And that's what came out, that, he's depressed because he wants to see everybody up, but everybody is falling and he can't understand it. It breaks his heart. People are not happy anymore, and obviously he can't make people happy. At one point in time, he was able to uplift. Now he no longer is uplifting, and it was very dark. It got dark for a minute with talking to him. But he can't help but be his happy self. So, I told him, stay happy, stay true, you know, because even though you can see things physically going on with him, his spirit, his energy, his light, that shit bright. I was like, it's eating him from the inside out. His light, you know. I know he has a lot of enemies. I know he has a lot of people that resent him because he's still able to smile. I know he's had his struggles with life. I know he's been through things. So, you know, I didn't know what advice to give him about how to how to embrace his light. You can definitely kind of tell, kind of struggling with some insecurities, but his insecurities are based around his ability not being able to uplift other people. I was like, he need a platform, or he need a podium. Put his ass in church. Maybe he's supposed to be preaching or something. I don't know, but I usually tell people, get a platform, start talking. The most beautiful thing about social media is that social media gives you a choice. It gives you hella options, but with those options, you have a choice. You could choose to listen to some shit, or you could choose not to. So if motherfuckers don't like what you got to say, who the fuck cares? Sometimes you just gotta do shit for you. You could use social media as a tool, to help you. Like video diaries. I mean, that's what I do. I have video diaries. And I reflect, I watch them, I watch myself. I love watching myself. I love listening to myself too. I love studying me. Sometimes when I masturbate, I think about me having sex with me. I mean, shit, why not? So, I feel like at this time, though, like I said, it's not going to be people that you grew up with, or you were close to, or had relationships with. These are individuals that you may have encountered. Could have even been somebody you work for, people you work with. And I feel like some individuals have been behind social media watching you, and I don't think that they like what they see. You could be happy. I mean, whatever you're doing, they're not liking it. They haven't been able to contact you. They watch you from social media, but they're not going to reach out to you. You know what I'm saying? That you may run into them, and you may notice the vibe. The thing is that you never knew how this person truly felt about you. These people, certain people, you never knew that they really didn't like you or really didn't fuck with you. You weren't as aware back then. So that's what I'm saying. You're gonna be given insight into certain people. Okay, but I mean, that's it. So we're gonna wrap it up there, and until next time, we'll talk again. Thank you.